Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Computer Doctor Show. My name is Aaron Moss, and I conduct this computer show in my car while I'm driving around here in Tucson, Arizona, from my various different calls throughout the day. I thought in this video I would talk to you about how to detect or stop in its tracks ransomware. Ransomware, as you know, or may not know, it's a very, very destructive program. And what it does is it sneaks its way into your computer through various different ways, and it executes a command to encrypt all of your files. And the only way that you can get the files back is by paying someone a ransom, a sum of money to some untrackable system, usually using some sort of Bitcoin or cyber coin of some sort, and then they send you the code to unencrypt your files. So it's a terrible, terrible ordeal. And the best thing to do is to try to stop it in its tracks to begin with. Now, there's lots of different softwares that are out there that claim that they can detect various types of ransomware. But what I have found is that, and this goes the same with viruses, and there's always a fight of good and bad, that once a antivirus or a ploy to stop a virus from coming in, the virus developers just find a way around it. They find a different way or some other vulnerability that the computer has that will stop it, that won't stop it. Okay, and once they find the next vulnerability, the antiviruses, companies and programs, they'll do an update that contains the latest securities, so that these advanced threats you're protected from them. So the same thing is true with ransomware. So there could be a new ransomware threat out there. It can get into your computer the same way that a virus can, and they'll find a way for it to not be detected. But assuming that you've done all you can, you have all your defenses up, your antivirus is up to date. Let's say that a ransomware product or file still manages to get into your system in some fashion. What I'm about to tell you can save you from having to have all of your files restored. Now, the way this program works is it has to not just like an antivirus program. There's several levels, right? So if a program is to get through all of these levels, it's got to pass several levels of security. If it does, the way it deploys or the way it activates and starts working in your computer, it also has to start working in such a way to not trigger any defenses that the computer further has for programs running that it shouldn't be. So it's always going to trick your system into thinking that it's a different program running, when in actuality it's this encryption software, ultimately ransomware. So how do you protect yourself? Well, ransomware, in order for it to accomplish its goal of encrypting all of your files, in order for it to do that, it has to use a substantial amount of your computer's CPU capacity. Okay? And what you're going to notice is that your computer is going to start running extremely slow, extremely choppy. A very, very fast computer that you thought was running really, really fast is actually going to start running really, really slow. There's a way that you can look at the live performance on your computer, And if you were to look at that performance, you would see that your hard drive usage is close to 100%. Your CPU usage will be close to 100%. And your RAM may also be close to 100%. But the computer is running completely opposite or completely different from the way it normally is running. This is an indication that the computer is doing something that is working hard at something else that you're not aware of, or that is not important to you. Okay? So, with that said, if your computer all of a sudden dips into this really, really slow performance, and it's like that for a day, 2 days, that is a time, or that a bell should go off that, hey, your computer is doing something that it wasn't doing before. That could mean, and often in my case, this is what happened when I was ransomwared. My computer was running extremely slow. What I should have done was I should have backdated my computer to a week, 2 weeks prior. Now, what that will do is that will remove any threats of the computer that may have gotten in within that 2 weeks. Now, why 1 week, 2 weeks? Because ransomware will sometimes lay dormant for a couple of days before it actually starts. Okay, this is one of the tricks that the developers of ransomware use. They'll sneak the program in, but they won't have it attack yet. They'll just let it lay dormant for a while, meaning it's just there, but it's not doing anything. And then they'll program it to trigger into action a couple of days later, maybe a week later, okay? When in actuality, they're hoping that people will backdate the computer to a time when it was still laying there dormant, and then when they backdate the computer, it reactivates all over again, and then you're sitting there with the same problem. So you want to backdate the computer enough so that it goes back to a time where it was never in the computer in the first place. Okay? So doing that backdating is an essential feature of Windows programs these days. Okay, especially when it comes to ransomware. Now, you may not always get it. There might be times where your computer is running slow because of something else. But if your computer is ever running slow, substantially slow, almost to a crawl, that is the best time to do a computer backdate. Okay, on Windows machines, you can just type the word restore or system restore. If you're working on a Windows computer every day right now, I would strongly recommend that you turn that service on. Go to your search bar and type in the word restore, and look for the restoration settings turned on, okay, or the C drive restore turned on. Sometimes it gets turned off from other programs, but you always want to make sure that service is always running, and that way you can always stay protected. I hope you enjoyed something from this or learned something from this show. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I hope you listen to my radio show on KVY 1030 The Voice. And you could also visit thecomputerdoctorshow.com. My name's Aaron Moss, Computer Doctor of Tucson. Oh, funky music. See you next time.